At this moment, the flight engineer initiates the landing checklist, one of the most important procedural steps as the aircraft nears the runway. Every item on this checklist must be confirmed and completed to ensure the plane is fully prepared for landing. It's a standard routine for every flight, but under these high-stress conditions, even routine tasks carry added weight. Here the first officer confirms the checklist, while the captain announces the aircraft's position, 4 nautical miles from the runway and descending through 1,120 feet. These coordinates indicate that the crew is closing in fast on Faro Airport, with only seconds left to make crucial adjustments before touchdown. This is when the flight engineer brings up the missed approach altitude, a critical safety measure that provides a safe vertical path if the landing must be aborted. This is a crucial point in any approach, as it ensures the crew has a plan B. But in this case, the crew's focus is divided between managing the aircraft in turbulent winds and preparing for the final descent. Here the captain is confirming that the missed approach altitude is now set. At this point, the crew must balance planning for a potential go-around with executing the immediate landing. These dual considerations are common in aviation, but under these adverse weather conditions, the margin for error is razor thin. The flight engineer confirms that the landing checklist is complete. For a brief moment, there might have been a sense of relief. Everything is set for landing. However, with the runway ahead obscured by rain and winds constantly shifting, the most dangerous part of the flight is yet to come. At 7:31 and 37 seconds, the radio operator announces the aircraft is on final approach, the last and most critical phase before touchdown. In an ordinary flight, this would signify the beginning of a controlled descent onto the runway. But today, nothing about this approach is ordinary. At this point, the tower clears Martinair 495 to land, reporting wind gusts between 15 and 20 knots. While this may not seem extreme to the average person, in aviation, even slight gusts can destabilize a heavy aircraft, especially during landing. The crew now faces the daunting task of touching down on a runway that is slick with water while fighting unpredictable crosswinds.
500. Clear, hè? Ja, clear.
Here the first officer references the precision approach path indicator lights, which help guide the aircraft along the correct glide slope. The captain's acknowledgement indicates their focus on maintaining the proper descent angle, but their task is complicated by the storm's interference and the limited visibility. This is when the captain notices that their airspeed has dropped below the ideal threshold, something that could result in a stall if not corrected. After a brief adjustment, he confirms the speed is back within safe limits. This moment highlights just how much effort it takes to keep the aircraft stable during a storm. Here the captain calls out the shifting wind direction and speed, now at 190 degrees with gusts of 20 knots. Crosswinds at this level can throw even experienced crews into disarray, demanding constant adjustments to maintain control. This distinctive tone of the radio altimeter signals that, at 7:32 and 47 seconds, the aircraft is just 50 feet above the runway. This sound normally indicates the final moments before a smooth landing. However, with the plane battling wind shear and rain, the situation is far from routine. Tragically, Martinair Flight 495 crashes upon landing. The aircraft breaks apart, resulting in the deaths of 56 passengers and injuries to 106 others. Investigators later attribute the crash to wind shear and the challenging weather conditions, exacerbated by the flooded runway.